What is up, jabronis? JJ back here with a few of the guys talking some PGA. Uncle T, Mangone, Snyder. Was a good show a few weeks back. Felt like we had some profitable stuff. Looking forward to doing this one again. I came prepared dress-wise. I can't really say the same about my counterparts. But the tournament, Memorial Tournament, obviously for 2021, starts on June 3rd. It's in a few days, depending on the time you're watching this. Played at Muirfield Village. Am I pronouncing that right, Snyder?
I believe so, yeah. Muirfield Village, I think.
Okay, Muirfield, close enough. It's like the knee house, new house thing.
That's right.
But you know what? So we'll go through the same things we normally go through. Obviously outright, some long shots, some top 20, 30s, some maybe even some best ball. And then, of course, some group bets as well. Just overall trying to give you guys best perspective. We'll even talk some DFS, and maybe that's best to start because I know we did that the last time, just some brief DFS stuff. Uncle T, I'll start with you DFS-wise because, look, it's fresh on your brain. You were just talking about it for an hour. What do you like? We'll call it your pound-for-pound best value plays and your favorite play on the slate DFS-wise DraftKings.
Yeah, we just got off the show with Hoop and AP, and, yeah, that ran a little bit longer than an hour. But, yeah, as far as DFS plays, I think we're going to talk about the outrights here in a minute because I think we ended the show a minute ago talking about how we think there's not a ton of value outright bets. I think the numbers are pretty, are pretty lined up. I don't see a ton of value. There's some good plays, just not a ton of value on the outrights. But as far as DFS goes, one of the guys we pegged a lot on the earlier show and I really like as an outright win would be Tony Finau this week. He's a guy that led after 18 holes and then 36-hole leader last year on this course. Now, one thing we didn't really get too much into or we haven't talked about yet is this is a completely different course than these guys played last year. They completely more or less ripped up the entire course for the most part. There was a couple holes they didn't do much with, but it's a totally different course that they'll see this week that they saw last year when Jon Rahm won. So, that being said, I'll let Snyder also, when it gets to him, to talk a little bit about that. But, JJ, to answer your question, like you said, up top, I think Finau is a really good play. Justin Thomas, I feel like at 10-2, above 6K, we're used to seeing him at 11-2, 11-3, 11-4. He's at 10-2. Now, his play recently has warranted the 10-2 price and the decreasing of the price. But if you want to buy back in, similar to what some of us did, I didn't, but I know Snyder did a couple weeks ago when Rory was playing so poorly and Rory was dropped all the way down to around 10K or 10-1. Snyder hopped back on, the GOAT that he is, and hopped back on at the right time. I feel like value-wise, we are getting Justin Thomas at the cheapest price that I can remember in quite a while. So up top, from the 9K range up, value-wise, I think Tony Finau and Justin Thomas could be two of the best plays.
Now, he brings up a good point with JT, and again, I kind of follow golf very much from the outside, but his price does look a bit egregious for this tournament. Snyder, what's your take on that specifically, and then who are some of your plays you like?
Yeah, I agree with that Justin Thomas call. He looks way too cheap. He should be a great play here. The guy I'm looking to is Colin Morikawa, the guy I always go to. He's the greatest ball striker on tour. Best ball striker on tour, best approach player. We're going to see 7 holes here that are 450 to 500 in that par 4 range, and he's ranks number 1 in that category. Great long iron player. He won here. I mean, it's not going to play the same as it did for the workbench, but he won on the property here. But yeah, like Uncle T was saying, they completely gutted this place, resodded every green, redid every fairway. It's going to be completely bent grass now. It's going to play super tough. I mean, it's got like a bluegrass fescue blend in the rough. It's going to be about 4.5 inches, really thick, tough to play out of. These fairway bunkers here are some of the toughest on tour as well. I mean, the bogey rate out of these bunkers is just incredibly high. So I'm definitely going to be going after these guys like Morikawa, great ball strikers. Morikawa hits a ton of fairways off the tee. I mean, he's going to set himself up for a lot of opportunities here. I think he's going to come in lower owned as well. I think like Justin Thomas, Victor Hovland, Alexander Schauffele, Cantlay, are going to take some of that ownership away from him like it did in the last
Can
event
we
we've
see
seen.
two hands right now? Can we see two hands real quick? Are you good? All right.
We're good.
Sure. Keep going.
Right on.
So Snyder obviously likes Morikawa, and I'd go to Mangone. However, it looks like
Look who we got. Bobby Gomes.
What's up, Bobby?
What's up, my man?
looks
Bobby
like
with the hat.
Bobby wants to intercept Mangone here. Bobby.
Well, by the way, he came more prepared than you, I think, JJ. I mean, that is a hat you wear on the course right there.
That is a much better hat. I mean, the hat I have, you wear at like the circus.
And Bobby's got a new one too. We're doing good. I got some grapefruit in me. I'm doing good tonight.
I feel like the worst.
Hey, JJ, business, as they say, just picked up with Bobby Gomes in the house.
Me and Bobby can tag team on these guys now.
Oh gosh, I mean, Morikawa was a great play, but I mean, don't you dare disrespect Bryson. Like, if there's a course that fits him well, Snyder,
That guy's playing this week. He's playing this week.
Yeah, he's playing this week, and he's going to own.
know.
I mean, what do you
JJ,
mean?
get control.
So Mangone, you can keep talking up Bryson. I'm a Bryson guy. We knob slob Bryson. That's allowed on this show.
So,
Bob- go ahead.
JJ, let me talk about Bryson. Let me talk about Bryson. Like, so Snyder talked about all of these, the greens are going to be whatever, he used all the terms. He didn't talk about the layered rough. It's going to be a deep, deep rough. I mean, you're going to have to really dive in there. I mean, Uncle T, I don't know how much bush you like. I've heard some rumors. I don't believe them, but you got to really dive deep for your ball. And if there's a dude that can muscle it out of there, who's the guy who's going to muscle it out? It's Bryson.
Eddie Bryson.
It's not going to be – and listen, I love Morikawa. Morikawa is not going to be able to get them out. Now, if Morikawa's in the fairway and then he lines up for the perfect approach shot, I love Morikawa, huge fan. He's going to be accurate and do a great job of it. The question will then be, can he putt and get it done? I don't have any issues with Bryson putting. I know Bryson can get the job done with the putter, and I think being long off the tee is going to help here. I think harder courses help Bryson. I think he's a guy that grinds it out, and this is a perfect course for him. I think this fits him so well. So I love Bryson this week. I also love Rahm. He's another guy who plays great on the hard courses. At the top, those are my two favorite golfers, no doubt. And again, Morikawa's fine, but I think there's better ways to allocate your salary, and I'm going to allocate it to those two guys, Bryson and Rahm.
Love it.
I will say one thing against Bryson here. I mean, this is more of like a second shot golf course. It's not going to cater to the bombers. And we're talking about that rough. I mean, Bryson's for sure going to be playing from that rough a lot as he's ranking 114th in fairways gained off the tee. And he's been hitting his irons like a donkey the last 3 or 4 events. So you can have fun. Let me see his recent form here. What is it? It's like 55th, 38th, 46th, 9th.
Yeah, so he's playing, listen. So Bryson, you can argue Bryson is not playing that well, right? So a guy who's not playing well, T38, T55, T9, T46, and T3, okay, those are the last 5 events. And he's not playing well. And what happens with top-end golfers? They're the ones that flip the quickest. I mean, those are the ones that you see out of nowhere, pop off out of nowhere. And Bryson's going to pop off, Uncle T. I mean, come on.
I feel like Bryson could like kick a baby and Mangone would like somehow defend Bryson's actions.
The worst part is I like Morikawa and Bryson. They're my two favorites, but the disrespect to Bryson from Snyder is just, it's gone too far. I mean, this is a course I think he needs to at least consider him, at least not trash talk him too badly, but at least Snyder's staying on brand. You got to respect that.
Now let's switch over to best dressed Robert Gomes, aka Bobby. Bobby, DFS wise, who do you like for the Memorial?
Yeah, so up top, I feel bad going against my guy Snyder here. I like Bryson too this week.
There you go, Bobby Gomes.
There you go. Put it to the table, Bobby Gomes.
There's always next week.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let me explain my case. So last year, 30 mile an hour winds on Sunday. Bryson, ball flight's an issue. Like if the weather isn't great and it's windy, I don't like playing. But if it's going to be all right, like I don't mind Bryson. The issue with Bryson, the thing that scares me is these fairways play really fast. And Snyder gave a pretty good reasoning as to why he isn't hitting fairways. He's got up in that rough. That's kind of an issue, but 13% ownership, the finishes that he's had, I don't mind Bryson at all relative to these other guys. Obviously, Rahm's the best Vegas play, but I don't hate Bryson in DFS. I think I could go there.
Another reason I think there's value on Bryson betting wise is his number. Like when he plays well, like he's at that ceiling mark, right? Like he definitely has a wider range of outcomes than some of these guys. So the opportunity, I think, on betting Bryson, like I saw 20 to 1 on Bryson on Bookmaker, which I thought was really good. I don't know what it is on all the other books, but it seems like, again, Bryson is a guy, like, if I'm going to bet on him, like I'm hoping he gets to like the first place. Like when he pops off, he pops off. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there. I think betting wise, it's a really good call to go to him. I don't see him being like 10 to 1 like some of these other guys. He's going to have the better odds because people get nervous about that. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of win potential.
So awesome. Basically it's Finau, Justin Thomas, Bryson, and Morikawa. At least Uncle T goes out on a limb and gives some guys with some value. You guys are just hanging out at the top, but it's okay. Let
me give you one more, JJ. Let me give you one more. A cheaper guy that you might like. He's in the 7K range. We'll go with Mr. Kevin Streelman. I think he's been playing really good golf. I think he can line up pretty well here. And I do know a lot of people are talking about Keegan, and he's going to be a bit chalkier, but I think Keegan's a decent chalk this week. So there's some value for you, JJ. There you go.
I can give you the chalk value play. It's going to be Kyle Stanley down there at 6.1K. His fairway's at a high clip. He's off great recent form. He plays these long par fours well. He's just completely mispriced here.
So, Mangone, mortal lock, like slam the lock button on Kevin Streelman. That's what we're going with.
Listen, I give my boy Hector like a stone lock play of the week every week. And if it does not hit, it doesn't make the cut, I have to pay for his entry fees. The good news is I gave Michael Thompson last week. I tried to go real cheap. It didn't work, but he won money, so it didn't matter. I didn't have to pay him. I like Streelman a lot. I think he is one of my locks this week. Like, I feel very strong about Kevin Streelman. And Snyder, it's good to see you nodding your head to Streelman because
I like him, yeah.
There you go. Streelman 7.5. I think I was on him last week. I've been on him here the whole stretch here, and I think this is going to be a nice little, longer course. I know Snyder says it's a second shot course. I think it could help you if you're a bit longer. And Streel Daddy is long, and 7.5K. He'll be right there with Big Daddy Bryson. They'll both be bringing their shafts out.
He's been gaining strokes approach on his last 5 events. He hits fairways at a high clip. He's gained strokes putting in his last 3 events. I really think Streelman makes for a great option.
Awesome.
I'm with you guys on Streel Daddy.
And he can win an event too. He's a guy who can win an event. I don't know what are his odds, Snyder? You got him in front of you?
That is a perfect segue, Mangone.
Look.
50 to 1.
I got 55 at DraftKings.
That is a perfect segue because we can move right over to outrights greater 50 or 1 or greater, 50 to 1 or greater. So Mangone, not only does he have a mortal lock for DFS, mortal lock as an outright at 55 to 1.
Yeah, 10 unit max bet, right? Not even 10, 100 unit max bet. That's how they say it in business.
Uncle T, some bigger outrights, or even one if you have one that you like that you think has a lot of value.
I like Keegan Bradley, but he's coming in just under that. DK, I think, had him at 45 to 1, so he doesn't qualify. So you're saying 50 or longer? Yeah, it gets kind of thin down at the bottom this week.
You had it down to 45. You said you like somebody at 45?
Yeah, Keegan Bradley, I really like at 45 to 1. Go ahead and go to the other guys and circle back.
Okay. Snyder, who do you like as your best long shot that you think holds the most value to win this thing?
I really like Charlie Hoffman. He's coming in at 50 to 1. He's very top. His approach play has been great. His ball striking's been great. He's off a 3rd place at the Charles Schwab last week. His short game's been a little shaky, but his iron play has just been elite. He's gained over six strokes approach in 4 of his last 5 events, trending upwards. He's 5 straight top 20s and a couple top 3s. I think he's got some good win equity here.
Love it. Mangone, are you going to be able to give us the same type of girth that Snyder just did, or are we just going to get like a one-name answer and moving on?
Well, I gave you Streel Daddy, right? Do I got to give you another one? Do you want more?
All right. We're just going to use Streelman for everything. That's what we're going to do.
No, but that was for the 50.
Right. One-stop shopping.
All right,
did I miss the segment we were on? I thought I gave you. Do I need to give another one?
I've already moved on. Streelman for everything.
Well, not for everything. What segment are we on? Are we on the 100 to 1s? Where are we at, JJ?
Bobby Gomes, over to you. Best outright bigger than 50 to 1.
So I like Hoffman also, but I'm gonna dude, I'm going to go different. I'm going to go Cam Smith, 50-1. Cam Smith just plays well at these harder courses. He's a guy that, I don't know, I think he's going to go overlooked in DFS too. He's kind of in that price range. I like Cam Smith, 50-1. I think you can make a case for Sung Jae. These are all guys that, I don't know, 50-1, they kind of make sense. I think Sung Jae, like, obviously he's been a tough roster, but you know, like, he's a good ball striker. This course kind of fits him, so I don't mind going that way. Definitely not. I wouldn't bet Grillo. I feel like a lot of people are on Grillo. Grillo's like a total fade for me and everything. I wouldn't be betting him. I wouldn't be playing him in DFS. Yeah, that would be it. Probably be Hoffman, Strill Daddy, Cam Smith in this range for betting 50-1. I think what's Strillman 66-1. So yeah, I don't mind that.
Awesome. And you know what? I'm giving Mangone shit here. And I mean, he gives out the biggest outright. I mean, the biggest odds outright. I mean, granted, I feel like every question I'm going to ask him today is going to end in Streelman, but at least at least you're grabbing the balls, Mangone. I can appreciate that.
Well, I mean, that's what you said. You said 50-1 guys, right? So
that's right. That's right.
I'll give you one more though. Even deep. I think he's even deeper than him. I like Matt Wallace. Especially
why'd you have to go? He didn't get back to me.
Oh, is that who you were going to go, Uncle T?
Yeah, I like Matt Wallace.
That's what I mean. He's such a short fella, Uncle T, man.
Matt Wallace, 80-1. And then I like Sebastian Munoz, 125-1 down there. Those are two, JJ. I like both of them.
Now, I follow golf from the outside. Okay, call me a novice fan at best.
According to that hat, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I belong like juggling at a circus.
That's a great hat. Great hat. I'm surprised Uncle T doesn't like that. Uncle T got the best.
Oh, I love that. I'll take 10 across on the 6 horse in the 6 or 8.
Exactly. Exactly. But Muno, how is he that? How are his odds that? I feel like that dude's like top 20, like often.
Well, he went T3 last week, and Munoz gets a bit streaky. Yeah. I like the call from Uncle T. He's definitely someone, like, if I do multi-enter this week, I'm going to have some Munoz for sure in DFS. I mean, I like the call of Munoz.
All right, let's switch over to your favorite valued favorites, if you will, guys, underneath 50-1. Uncle T, I'll start with you. Who do you more or less, who do you think wins this tournament? I guess value is almost irrelevant. Who do you think wins this tournament? Because ultimately that'll have the most value, whatever their odds are.
Can we go above 10K or you're leaving everybody in?
You can go this is who you think wins the tournament.
I mean, I think Bryson wins the tournament at 18-1, but for value, I think Tony Finau at 25 and Louis Oosthuizen at 20. The value on Louis is out because it's too short of odds, but I'd say Finau and DeChambeau.
Now, Finau, again, my outsider perspective, isn't he kind of like a bridesmaid? I mean, does he have any ships yet?
He's won before. I think what was it, Puerto Rico a couple of years ago? Bobby, you know?
It was a bad event that if he won.
Yeah.
It was like a really just like it didn't feel like a win. That's how bad it was.
But he's going to win this week, JJ.
Okay.
He's a winner.
I love it.
I didn't like him last week, but I like him this week.
Awesome. Snyder, are we going back to Colin?
Oh God.
No, I mean, I'm not going to go back there. I'm going to go to another guy that's popping lately. If you go to Bet365, you can get him at 22-1 odds. Patrick Cantlay, he's been on a little slump. I mean, he got dumped and he went in his hole and he's battled back last week. The irons were back. He looked like the guy he was. He was right in contention for a top 5 until like a double bogey the last hole, I believe. I really like his win equity here. He's got great course history here. Just a great ball striker. Avoids bogeys, plays these long holes well. I think he's got good win equity here at 22-1.
So I'll tell you this.
Does he have a lady now? That's my question. Do you have like insights on Instagram? Is he potty or something? What's going on with him?
I'm not sure about that, but he's got to be. I mean, he was looking good at the PGA. I think he gained what did he gain here? 7.9 strokes approach and 4 off the tee. I mean, that's pretty damn elite. I mean,
he's lost 7 strokes putting though.
Yeah, he didn't get
has been weak.
That's
he's lost 7. He's lost 7 events in a row. Sorry, he's lost 7 events in a row. He's lost strokes putting. Which,
correct. I mean,
when you're putting well, I feel like things are going well for you in life. I don't know, man. I'm a little skeptical on Cantlay.
He does putt well on these bent grass greens, though, and he has gained strokes putting in his last 2 trips here to Muirfield. I mean, I think everything's trending up, and he's gonna pop right here.
tell you what, considering I am a can't lay truther, I do like the call, Snyder. The issue I have is that this course, like the winner will literally need to be like 5 under because can't lay just does not get birdies, not consistently anyway. He is a great par guy, at least he's been over this recent stretch. But yeah, I mean, look, if this score plays low, he's always going to be live.
Yeah, I think the score will be right in that maybe 8 to 10 under range for the winner. I think he's right there. He can grind it out.
Mangone, who's your favorite outright?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with Uncle T on the Bryson train. I think it's either Bryson or Rahm. My problem is like Rahm, it feels like the value's gone a bit, and that's why I kind of lean with the Bryson side more. I will say with Uncle T, he talks about Finau, and I do think Finau will win one of the big boy events. Like I don't think he's gonna out of nowhere just like win like I don't know some lame one like the Rocket Mortgage. Like I wouldn't be shocked if he does, but I definitely like his like top 20s and top 10s a lot more. I feel like there's some pretty good value on that you could sprinkle. So if you are going to be crazy enough to bet him to win, throw in those T20s, the T10s, the T5s, because Finau can definitely get those done. And he's one of those golfers where kind of like Xander, like if you're going to bet him, also bet those to kind of save yourself a little bit. I think that's a smart way to go.
Yeah, you can also bet him. I think I was talking to Snyder off the air earlier. He goes out early Thursday morning, so I actually like him in a little first round leader as well, Tony Finau.
Awesome. Dodge the yips that he gets on Sundays.
Well, he played there. He played well there last year at the actual Memorial. So the week before that, they played the workday, which was set up completely different. He was the 36 hole leader last year, shot 73, 78 on the weekend. So he can play well there. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't shock me at all if Finau, at a place like Muirfield finally got through and won a big event.
Awesome. And Bobby, who's your favorite outright here?
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little lower. I like Patrick Reed, 33-1, right in that Finau range, right in that.
Patty Reed.
Yeah, Patrick Reed plays good at tough courses. Like it isn't. I don't think it's that crazy of a take. Like look at the names he's around. Like it's just not. He's better than a lot of these guys he's around, right? Like
I will say, like I definitely have I slob over Bryson, like Snyder slobs over Morikawa, like Bobby slobs over Patty Reed, which I like Patty Reed, but he definitely does. He's definitely a Patty Reed guy. No doubt.
I mean, I could get on board with that. He's got great short game. I mean, his around the green game will be clutch here. I mean, I could see him grinding one out. I mean,
I like him in courses that you have to grind out, right? And like around the green could definitely help you here too. So I definitely don't hate the call for sure. And it's, he's one of those guys that always flirts in that like 30-1 outright range, right? And you can get some decent numbers on him. So I don't hate it.
Now, a quick question.
Finishes, right? Like he finishes. Like Finau doesn't always finish. Reed finishes.
Now, a quick question from Abrasive. I think I'm pronouncing that right, about Decky at 26-1. Snyder, I'll shoot this one to you. How is putting at this course? Because that's always got to be a fear with Decky, right? Is he value at 26-1? Is it overpriced? What do you think?
Yeah, I actually like Hideki quite a bit this week. I mean, he's a great ball striker. His approach game is great. The putter is a little bad, but at this course, generally, recently history, 3 of the last 10 winners have been ranked 41st or worse in putting that week, and none of the winners have led the field in strokes putting that week. So I don't think putting is quite as big of an issue here. I mean, the greens are a lot smaller here. They're only about 5,000 square foot on average, which is smaller than tour average. So I think that's going to mitigate some putting a little bit as well.
Awesome. You see, Snyder at least brings good stats, Mangone.
So he talks about the stats, and I can bring you some good stats if you need me to, JJ. Someone has to sometimes step into the role of Big T and just tell him that Colin Morikawa has a small team. Someone's got to do it. That's my role this week. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe next week I'll be the layered rough guy. Maybe I'll be the salted green. I don't know. Maybe I'll be the host. But this week I got to tell someone that Morikawa has a small team.
Actually, I need to clarify something, Mangone. Big T would say that Morikawa's got a little wiener, I think is how I understand it. So.
He stuck that little wiener up Bryson's ass the last few weeks. So.
You see, look at Snyder firing back. You see, that's what I come here for.
Hand check, Snyder.
All right, so I guess we'll talk on some top 20s or 30s briefly. And I'll start with you, Uncle T. I know that you can argue they're correlated, right? Because ultimately who your favorite outright is, maybe you just bet them for top 20. But as far as value goes, because there is a different conversation, right, from top 20 versus winner. like the little Finau combo we had. I mean, you could lock that dude in for a good finish often, but not a top finish. As far as top 20 though, who do you like there for value?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't look too much at the top 10 and 20 prior to the show. That other show ran long, so full disclosure on that. I did have a couple matchups and some first-round leaders. I didn't really look too closely at that, so if one of you other guys want to take that, I'll look at that.
I love the transparency. Like, I feel like, Mangone, you would just bullshit some stupid answer. Probably Streelman at plus 165.
Yeah, give me Streelman like everything, up and down the board. Just give me him in a matchup against John Rahm, right? Like, I don't even care what the odds are. Let's do even money at this point.
You're like, I'll lay Vig with Streelman versus Rahm.
Yeah. No. I think Uncle T's guy would be Finau. I mean, he likes Finau in general, and he could be the bridesmaid at time. We talked about it a little bit before.
It's only $120. It's only $125, Uncle T, for Finau top 20.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now on DK.
Tough to beat that.
No, I mean, I think that's good. Like Bryson's one of those guys, like if I'm going to bet him, I want like the T5 or like the first, right? I don't want the top 20, right? Like I want some of those other guys like the Xanders or the top 20 guys or the Patty Reeds where they really can grind it out, right? Like Abe Answer showed a great example of it on that hard course a couple weeks ago, right? Out of nowhere, Abe Answer, he's one of those guys who grinds it out on a course. He was all the way in like T56 on a tough course, shot a 7 under, and then boom, he was in like the top 20. So I want those dudes who grind there. So like Patty Reed's a great example we talked about. I think that Finau's another one who we talked about that could be a good example. I think Hovland's another one of those guys that can definitely grind it out for you that I don't mind in the top 20. So yeah, I think it's regular. Like Hideki's one of those guys that I probably wouldn't do for that. I'd more so want to bet him to win because I know like the pop potential that he can have. So that's kind of where I look at when I look for these top 20s, right? That's kind of where I'm at.
You want to name another 10 guys? I mean, you already named like 15.
Well, I'm just saying, like, plenty the type of guy I look at like these type of courses, right? It depends on what course you're going to, but it's a hard course, man. So I want to take these guys that grind it out and don't absolutely just like fail. I want guys that are going to be here, grind it out every single day. Patty Reed gets the job done for you. I mean, he's definitely worth it. I mean, those are all good bets there. And I don't like a lot of these top guys. I mean, I love this 9K range in DFS. Like, I don't love Spieth, Rory, JT. Like, a lot of those dudes, I don't know. I think I'm pretty set on these top end guys. I think there's a lot of good ones.
So, Snyder, in terms of top 20, before you answer that, I got a question for you that I think you should be able to answer. So, I look at these odds most weeks for golf, so I have a decent idea on who's usually at the top. This week, Mr. Hovland, who Mangone loves to knob slob, is sitting here as the second highest odds dude. What is that about?
I was pretty surprised when I seen that. I mean, his recent form has just been elite. I mean, he's trending upwards as one of the top 5 players on the tour. I mean, it makes sense, but I was definitely caught by surprise when I seen him at, was he like 15-1? He's damn near
the same odds as JT. He's better odds than Rory, Morikawa, Xander.
His irons have been elite. He's got a couple top 3s in the last few. I mean, he's coming off a 30th at the PGA. I mean, I definitely wouldn't bet that. I mean, I think those odds are definitely thin for sure.
And as for top 20s now, who you like?
Yeah, for top 20, I actually like FanDuel. I've noticed they've got the best odds for top 20s. I mean, you can get Finau. Finau was plus 115 for top 20 there. That was solid.
That's crazy.
The guy I was looking at, it's right down here, Troy Merritt, plus 490. And he's had 3 top 10s in his last 4. He's hitting the irons well. His short game's elite. He's good off the tee to green guy. I think it's real strong value on a top 20 for him.
That's respectable. You see, Snyder comes in, he drops a 5-1 guy in top 20. Meanwhile, Mangone reads off the top 12 names chalk on who he likes.
I gave you Streelman everywhere. I mean, he's 15-1 to win. I gave you he's plus 210 for top 20. I mean, I gave you Streelman all over the place, JJ. So stop with this. I gave you value. I gave you the winner of the entire tournament. I mean, you can just move on to next week.
I'll tell you what, if Streelman wins this, that'll be an L for me with how much I busted your balls this show.
I mean, we have enough video clips to run one each day of the week next week on Streelman. We've done our due diligence. Hopefully it goes there. If there's if Darren Ravel is tweeting out on Sunday, man won $1,000 betting Kevin Streelman to win it. It might be me at this point.
Bobby, how about you? Who do you like top 20?
Yeah, I think Charles Schwartzel plus 350, two top 20s last 3 events. Obviously, I think he's a good play in DFS as well. Like, I think he's going to get lower ownership. I don't mind Charles Schwartzel at plus 350 on DK.
I like
and
that.
on FanDuel, you can even get plus 450 for Schwartzel. I was saying how FanDuel juices theirs up quite a bit. I mean, you get pretty good value on FanDuel there.
That's impressive.
Snyder, I have a question about Hovland. Are you worried about his around the green here?
No,
That's what I was talking about.
Snyder, I'll take this one. Bobby, you didn't listen to the
I missed the beginning. I missed the beginning of the first show.
I'll accept your apology. No, I think that's one of the biggest misnomers about Hovland right now is he hasn't been in the past, but he's gained strokes around the green the last 4 outings or last 4 events. And while that's not great, it's a small sample, but he was never awful around the greens. He just was definitely losing strokes, but he's gained the last 4 events around the green. So if you couple that, if he just doesn't lose strokes there, his rest of his game is just on point and elite. So I have if you're asking me that question, I would say definitely not worry about that. Again, you guys know how volatile golf is. He could easily, not do well there this week, but the trend says that he's getting better.
Yeah, I'm just looking for a reason not to play one of these guys on the high end of 20%. That's kind of my issue. I love Morikawa. He's 20%. I know we're not supposed to be talking bets, but just thinking about fading one of Rahm, Morikawa, or Hovland.
No, that's Cantlay. That'll help you out.
I think I like Cantlay this week.
I know. That's why I'm telling you to X him out. You're looking for somebody to X out.
No, Cantlay's good.
What's Cantlay's ownership? He's around
about 14, 15.
Yeah.
I think Morikawa's going to come in more around that 8 to 10%, like we saw. What was that 2 weeks ago? Everybody thought he was going to come in, but he was sandwiched in between Spieth and Alexander, and he came in at like 8%, finished like 7th. I think we're going to see another event like that this week.
So you bring up a good point with the fades, Bobby, because last but not least, could talk on some matchups. And when we do this, it's because, look, it depends your book. You can find matchups anywhere, whether you're legal, offshore, whatever, but you can find different matchups for different players everywhere. But it's most easy to do this with giving a player you'd love to target in matchups and a player you'd love to fade in matchups. So, Uncle T, I'll start with you. Who's a player? And this, again, could be all correlated, right? A guy you like to win, you could say, I'll play him, against any of his matchups. And then who's somebody that you will be looking to fade in matchups?
Yeah, the guy up top, especially that I'm going to be looking to fade this week, and it's a tough one. I mean, again, we got to make stands. You can't, ride the fence on all these guys. But on matchups, I'm probably going to be fading. My fade guy would be Jordan Spieth, and I know that might not be a popular, kind of take. But again, I just, you got to take stands. And for me, I would take any of them top guys heads up over Spieth. And what was the other question, guy? I would take.
Who you backing?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's one. I know you didn't want to get necessarily into matchups, but there's one matchup that I'm just going to hammer. It's Bryson is minus 110 over Cantlay, and I feel like it feels like it's easy money. I mean, I don't know that Cantlay will make the cut. I'm not high on Cantlay this week. I know a couple of you guys are, and I'm not going to root against you, but I will have an outright matchup bet on Bryson over Cantlay. So that'd be my favorite.
Maybe looking to book that Big T or Uncle T.
Sounds like we got a lunch bet between Uncle T and Snyder. I'd love to see it.
Well,
I'll take a little Cantlay there. I'm not afraid of that one.
Yeah, I mean, slide on that. JJ, what do you say? Just slide on in there, big fella. I mean,
slide on in.
The water's warm.
That's it. Now, Snyder, as far as and I just saw a juicy one for you, Mangone, but Snyder, for you.
Oh, listen, it might be. I might already be saying it. That's the thing. Oh man.
Who are you fading here in matchups in this tournament?
I like the fade on Spieth. I mean, that round 4, he said that he didn't really know where the ball was going once he took the club head back on Sunday after a few holes in. I mean, the off the tee game got away from him like we've seen early in the year. I mean, I think that's a good fade. I mean, he's priced up and his odds are way up. I think we can get some good odds on fading him, as Big T was saying.
Yeah, that's fine. There's no issue with agreeing.
If I can find the right Me and Big T and Uncle T will have our usual Morikawa versus Bryson bet where I'll be looking for my third straight win in that matchup. That's always good.
That is what is allowed on this show is victory laps. I mean, I could listen to victory laps all day.
I can that victory lap with Morikawa.
Bobby Gomes collects those giblets as well.
What are giblets?
What are giblets? Can you
giblets?
Snyder, McElroy.
Newhouse, Niehaus.
Hey, you also call it the PGA Tour when it's
they all spend the same. That's all I know.
Mangone, I feel like you might announce this one yourself, but who's your favorite matchup and then favorite fade?
Yeah, I mean, so one of my favorite parts of this show right now is like I was planning on talking about Streelman in this segment, but we talked about him in another one. So Streelman is in a matchup against Lowry. I mean, listen, I don't mind Lowry this week, but I do think that Streelman is in a really good spot here. He's someone that Lowry, if the wind picks up, I might play him a little bit more in DFS, but if the wind's not going to pick up, definitely love this one even more. But Streelman's been awesome. Like I said, I'm going to be all over him in the matchups there. I did like Uncle T's call with the Jordan Spieth fade. Like, he's a guy that I don't want to go to. And if you can find a way to target, like, I don't know, like a Cantlay, like Cantlay versus Xander. I think the Xander call against Cantlay isn't bad. I don't mind targeting a Cantlay. I don't mind targeting like a JT this week. At the top, I really look to target some of the guys that I'm not on and don't like. So like that call from Uncle T. And I think the Xander against Cantlay one, that's not a bad one too. If Snyder wants to book some lunch over that, I'd be interested.
What are the odds on that one, Mangone?
-110. I mean, you can just get that straight up. Looks good to me, Uncle T. Are we both eating on Snyder's dime?
Wait a minute. Whoa. Mangone's looking at Bookmaker. He's getting a better value on Booker.
I'm on Bet365. I'm on Bet365 right now.
Uncle T, I mean, you got Snyder and Mangone both biting off your fades. I wonder if I asked them the question first, would they have said nothing? I mean, what's going on?
That's a good point, JJ. That's a very good point. See, that's what a guy does that hosts a show with a hat looking like that. That is what I'm talking about.
What is going on? Bobby, how about you? Who's your favorite fade and maybe favorite matchup if you have one?
I'm gonna go Rory. I just fade Rory the majority of the time. I think he's getting seeing on Booker, he's like -119 to Bryson's -111. I just prefer Bryson. I prefer Bryson pretty much everywhere. It's interesting. Justin Thomas is actually getting the favoritism from Bookmaker over Bryson, which is, I think Justin Thomas is really interesting in DFS, wedged between Morikawa and Hovland. He's going to be a lot lower owned. That would be pretty much where I'd go in terms of the fade, Rory. And then going to someone that, I don't know, I don't have this one prepared, but I don't know. I probably, what was the other one? Someone I'm pounding?
You don't have to do anything. I mean,
don't force it.
Have a favorite matchup.
Don't force it.
I like Strill Daddy too. I like -125 Strill Daddy over Leishman. I think that's fine.
Bobby, the Strillman segment's already ended. I mean,
I just gave it, the same as Mangone. Morikawa over Finau. I don't mind that. I know a lot of people are on Finau. I'm like, I'd go Morikawa.
Yeah, and that's more than fine. And it's like we often say on this, like, you're gonna bet golf, you need multiple outs. All these books have so much different pricing. It's just kind of crazy. Whether it's matchups, outrights, best ball, it doesn't matter. Top 20s, all these books have so much parity or disparity in odds. But okay, we've gone through a bunch.
I did find one underdog matchup that I really like.
Yeah, shoot.
Patton Kizzire, he's +135 over Brendan Todd. Brendan Todd doesn't play these long tracks well. He struggles on these long par fours. Really struggles on his approach lately, and we got Patton Kizzire coming in off 2 top threes, gaining over 6 strokes approach in his last 2 events. The iron game is really trending upward, and his putter has been really strong as he's gained strokes putting. I think his last 8 events or so. Strong tee to the green guy. I think that's a solid plus matchup there.
That Kizzire?
Patton Kizzire.
Oh, Kizzire.
Yeah.
Shows you how much I watch golf.
You ever heard of him, JJ?
I have not. He is not a neighborhood name.
He said, "I am not."
In these woods, he is not a household name.
He's got 3 top 10s in his last
hangs out
5.
with a Patton with that hat on, JJ. No doubt, my man can hang out with a dude named Patton.
Yeah. Then again, the only household names with this hat I probably know are a few monkeys, clowns. But yeah, so we've gone through basically everything. I'll say we'll just do, I call it a last ditch effort, if you will, from each of you. Maybe you go over your outright again or whatever you want to talk about late. Like I picture Mangone talking about the layered rough during this segment. But whatever you'd like to give out as a final, maybe advice, whatever, for betting this venue. We'll start with you, Uncle T. What's your last take here?
It feels good to be. First off, JJ, you've done a hell of a job hosting this. Second of all, I'm glad to always be in the one hole. I'm on the Tuesday golf show with AP and Hoop. I'm always last, and I don't appreciate. I'm glad to be in the one hole. Thank you.
Where you belong. It's where
Yeah,
you're in your house. Except
right.
except
And I'm going to try to get Big T to buy my lunch tomorrow, but I don't like my chances. So, no, I mean, this is a good time for golf. We got a couple more weeks before we go to Torrey Pines, and hopefully we'll get us together with you, JJ, to talk about, some plays and stuff in a couple weeks at the next major. But no, for me, I think I'm going to roll pretty heavy with Justin Thomas up top and buy in at that low price. He hasn't been good, but I'm going to go on, history with him, and he's obviously one of the top couple players in the world. I think we're going to buy in low on him like we did with Rory a couple weeks ago, so I like him. And down low, Louis Oosthuizen has been on quite a roll. People don't like to play Louis, but he's been really good, and I think DFS-wise more than betting-wise, because he's down to 20-1, and he's like the 20th price golfer in DFS. So I don't like him from a betting standpoint outright, but from a DFS standpoint, I'll be all over Louis Oosthuizen this week.
Love it. Love it. Snyder, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to attack these strong approach players like Morikawa, Hoffman, Grillo, Connors, JT. I think they all make for solid plays here. A couple guys I like for first-round leaders as they're going out early tee times, what I usually like to target for that. Emiliano Grillo and Tony Finau are going out early. I mean, yeah, I think Finau was a 36-hole leader here last year, so I like those two for that. And like Cantlay, and I like guys like that for this week.
Mangone, we slide it over to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting in the 3-hole, happy about that. Uncle T is like Matt Carpenter. He always has to be in that 1-hole, right? Loves being in that spot. So we got Uncle T there. I'm going to hit you in, Uncle T. I'm going to hit you in with, obviously, I love Bryson. I think if you're betting at the top, get Bryson in there. I don't love him as much in those matchups. Again, I want that win equity, right? And that's what he does. So bet Bryson for the wins. It would not be a segment with me without mentioning Kevin Streelman at this point. You got to look to get his matchup in there. You got to look to make him your long shot bet. So those are my two outrights. I'll give you Bryson. I'll give you Kevin Streelman. Lock those two in DFS as well. That'll be the core, and we move it along.
Awesome. Bobby, first of all, thank you for coming in. Nice little surprise cameo.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'd love to call you Robert on these shows.
Robert doesn't wear a bucket hat. Bobby wears a bucket hat. Yeah. I don't know if that fits him for this.
But yeah, any last notes here? I know that you were talking about some fades, some little demons you have going on in your head about this tournament. But what are some final notes you have?
Patrick Reed, 33-1. That's the outright. That's pretty much all I got.
At least any opportunity that pops, if he can cheat, he will.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what you need.
What's JJ's outright?
Use that foot wedge.
We need to know what your outright is, JJ.
I mean, look, I come here. I barely know what a golf ball looks like. I'm not sure if you saw my swing at the driving range, but I mean, it was a baseball swing. So yeah, I'm not the best person to give advice here. But look, a tournament like this, and I trust my guy Snyder, he says it's going to be low scoring. Cantlay's live. I mean, that's my boy. That's my boy. Don't be scratching the head, Mangone. I mean, Cantlay's my boy. And
hey, JJ, there's always next week, buddy. Always next week.
I'll post the GIF is see you next week in the chat. I'll post that.
Hey, Bobby, what are we going to buy with our Morikawa bucks this week?
So I'm nervous about Cal this week. I'm nervous. I know.
There you go, Bobby. See, the reason I like Bobby, he's showing conviction right now. He's being honest.
So
Snyder isn't honest all the time.
Never scared.
I'm just thinking about in terms of like DFS, like Morikawa's gonna be 20%. JT's right there.
I don't think he's gonna be there though.
13. I know. I think he's gonna be there too. I'm just trying to like. There are guys like you can't play every guy at 20%. Like it becomes really difficult, right? Like the win equity like really disappears if you have 3 or 4 guys at 20% in your lineup. So
Bobby's resting heart rate just goes bonkers when he hears Morikawa.
I love Morikawa. Morikawa's my favorite golfer in the world. It's gonna be a tough decision for me. I don't know. I like him in the betting markets in terms of DFS. I'm not really sure. I don't know.
Love it. Love it overall, though. But look, guys, honestly, thank you for hanging out and doing this video because I certainly can't provide much helpful info here with golf. But thank you for hanging out. And thank anybody for popping in the chat. Chris, by the way, Brady giving us NBA updates, which you have to love. I don't even know the Portland score. Is Portland still winning after they were down 20?
Portland's up 3. They were getting blown out, but they're up 3. We got the fourth quarter coming up, and I got some money against Big T in that series. I've already dusted him off. It feels like with Atlanta against the Knicks, and I'm hoping Portland can steal this game in Denver so I can dust Big T off again once more.
Oh God, the Lakers are getting blown out. I'm such a LeBron slappy. Like I wouldn't be able to sleep if LeBron lost in the first round here. But anyway,
Portland was down like 30 or 25 and they came back. So don't worry. There's plenty of time in the basketball games.
Big on the Suns earlier, right, man?
I love the Suns, but I didn't bet him this series. I got too scared of LeBron. He has everything in his favor. The refs, the league, Adam Silver.
We don't need to get personal, Mangone.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about.
LeBron's fine.
Sal Perez, double dong. That's what I'm talking about. He's a winner.
You had Sal Perez too today?
Sal Perez, he's a winner, JJ. Sal Perez, Kansas City.
I got him on one of my main teams. I did a nice little Royal stat.
Except for when you target him versus lefties, but any other game, the guy's a winner.
In my playbook today, Mangone, just like we talked about.
Guy is a winner. But yes, everybody, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching, paying the time you watched this. Hopefully all these numbers are still live. Went through everything, outrights, big outrights, matchups, top 20s, etc. But again, thank you for everybody for watching. Be sure to gamble responsibly, stay safe, and run pure. Thanks, everybody.